was so happy to get this topic. Okay, thank you. The topic is very different, but it is very important, especially for ourselves and also in our clinical practice. Coping with identity and body image issues in metabolic syndrome. I think we know this topic, but we don't discuss too much about it. So, identity issues and psychological impact. What does it consist of? Loss of self, that women often feel their bodies are betraying them due to rapid, unexpected weight gain, particularly around the waist, despite maintaining previous habits. It is fat redistribution. Even when they come to us, they will tell us that why my body is not responding. I do exercises, I eat only the way I was eating a few years back, but my weight is gaining. So what should I do? So this is a very, very common complaint when they come to us. Visibility and aging. Many women report feelings of becoming invisible to society, struggling to find their new place in the world. There are so many aging related changes and also due to the menopause and estrogen deficiency, like mood and cognitive changes. Hormonal shift can lead to depression, anxiety, irritability, and of course, brain fog. Then self-esteem, physical changes such as weight gain, hot flushes, and hair and skin changes can lead to significantly lower self-esteem and confidence and reduced energy. Especially this is true if the woman is working and already she has reached greater height in her job or wherever she is, and a lot of expectations are there from her because she is in the high position. And this all can lead to relationship strain. Mood swings and decreased libido is maybe because of the vaginal dryness, discomfort, and ultimately, husband and wife, there is a strain in the relationship. The intersection of metabolic syndrome and identity. So what happens in metabolic syndrome? The physical changes that define metabolic syndrome are inseparable from the psychological and identity crisis. What do we mean by body image? The change in body composition, that is because of the fat redistribution, can lead to a negative self-image as the body no longer feels, looks, or functions the way it did before. All of us have gone through this personally, and even our patients go through this. There may be emotional eating. Anxiety, depression can lead to unhealthy eating habits, and that will again exacerbate the metabolic syndrome. Systemic interaction, the physical symptoms of menopause, such as hot flashes and sleeplessness, can worsen mental health, creating a cycle of reduced quality of life. So ultimately, the quality of life can go down. So all of us should know about body image. It refers to the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes we have about our bodies and how we look. It encompasses our beliefs about our appearance as it is now, our desired appearance, and how we think the body should look. Our body image is influenced by biological factors like age and sex, psychological factors such as anxiety or low self-esteem, and socio-cultural factors including driven ideals of beauty. As the body changes, so can the way we feel about it. Shifts in shape, size, or appearance can be difficult to accept, especially in a culture that idealizes youth and thinness. So we all want to look young and thin. And this will lead to dissatisfaction with physical changes, shame or discomfort around weight gain, grieving a younger version of your body, and feeling invisible or disconnected from yourself. So we keep on saying that how good I used to look when I was young. This will lead to negative self-talk. If you speak to yourself in a critical or demeaning way, this is a risk factor for negative body image. Physical changes during perimenopause and menopause can trigger feelings of negative body image. Changes that nobody else can see or notice can still influence our body image. A negative perception of aging may be a triggering factor for negative body image as you go through perimenopause and menopause. And of course, social media adds to these problems. We must remember that comparison is the thief of joy. It's difficult to scroll on social media and not compare our lives and appearance to that of others, which can lead to feeling inadequate and unhappy about ourselves. So what can we do about this body image, etc.? For women to improve their mindset about body image, we can definitely tell them to exercise. It releases endorphins and makes us feel more powerful. It improves mood and increases positive thinking. We should start to value our body and thinking of it in terms of more than how it looks. Think of exercise from a health perspective, not a physical appearance perspective. So we should always feel that exercise is going to make me stronger. It may not make us beautiful, but yes, the mind becomes strong. So, and there is definitely a role of body appreciation in supporting quality of life. Valuing your body's functionality over appearance, letting go of unrealistic ideals, accepting yourself as we are, offering ourselves kindness and flexibility, and honoring our changing needs with compassion. So we have to be very compassionate with ourselves in our body. Think of what your body does for you every single day, such as carrying you to and from work. Your body digests your food and converts it to energy and nutrients. It uses your immune system to protect you from illnesses. Interrupt appearance talk and be as kind as you can when it comes to thinking and talking about your own body. We should not do our own body shaming. We keep on saying, so I have gained fat, I don't look good now. So I think we should avoid such talks and accept ourselves as we are. If you have negative body image, you may not feel as desirable or want to engage in sexual activity either. We can have identity challenges because we feel that we have lost our youth. There may be cultural pressure to look proper, and our roles are changing in the house and in the society. And the psychological impact is that we have low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, leading to emotional eating. So how can we cope up with all these things? Cognitive behavioral therapy can play a great role. Mindfulness is important, and we should have compassion for ourselves. So how do we cope up? By doing exercises, strength training, balanced nutrition, of course, definitely it is important, and health-focused goals there should be, and not beauty-focused roles. So role of healthcare providers like us, we should validate emotions. We should tell that patient who is telling us that, I feel that I'm becoming fat, I'm not looking good, that you have to say, yes, it happens, but you should take it positively, avoid stigma, and then in this, holistic care plays a very important role. Gynecologists are often the first point of contact during menopause. Metabolic syndrome frequently presents alongside menopausal symptoms. Body image distress affects treatment adherence and quality of life, and addressing psychological issues improves long-term cardiometabolic outcomes. So in our clinical practice, we have to also tell the patient that weight gain is hormonally mediated, not merely lifestyle related, not that she is doing something wrong. Body dissatisfaction may mask anxiety or depression, so we have to go in details and ask whether she is in fact suffering from depression or anxiety. And we should have sensitive communication which will improve patient trust. And sometimes even the multidisciplinary reference is important, and we should involve dietitians, psychiatrists, etc. So in conclusion, we should normalize body changes during menopause and not keep on speaking negatively about it. Avoid stigmatizing language around weight. Screen for mood and body image concerns. Emphasize health, function and prevention over appearance. So we should not give so much importance to the appearance. When I was just going through the literature, there are clinics who look after body image issues in Western countries. So I thought this is little different, and in our practice, because we are so busy, we are only concerned about pre-cancer, cancer issues or gynec issues and menopause, and we do not have time to look after these body image issues and anxiety and depression and diet and exercise. So we should have a multidisciplinary approach or a counselor who can look after all this. So our caregiving is complete. So this is my last slide, that support to improve your quality of life during menopause, role of MHT or hormone replacement therapy. Psychological support is also important. Nutritional guidance is important, and the acknowledging neurodivergence. I felt this was very, very important. New research suggests that menopause can be particularly challenging for neurodivergent individuals with heightened sensory sensitivities, executing dysfunction, emotional regulation difficulties, and increased anxiety. Understanding this link can help us adapt and reduce the distress and foster more compassionate, effective care, ultimately enhancing quality of life. So our aim is that quality of life should improve, and WHO has defined health as physical, mental, psychological, sexual, and spiritual well-being. And as we all know that post-menopause, all these 5 things can get affected. And as a gynecologist, we have very important role in explaining to the patient about these 5 components of the health. Thank you very much for your patient here.